Namaskaram, a Vedic narrative on defense and responsibility. Ancient Indian wisdom clearly recognized that peace and prosperity survive only where defense is strong. Thinkers like Chanakya emphasize that education, culture, and spiritual life cannot flourish in an unprotected land. Ideals such as truth, tolerance, and non violence hold value only when a society has the power to safeguard them. History repeatedly proves that nations which neglect defense become easy targets for aggressive forces. A striking illustration of this principle comes from the Vedic tradition associated with Rig Veda, later echoed in Samaveda chanting. The rise and the fall of the two kings. In the Vedic age, lived two neighboring kings, Prastoka and Chaimana Abhyavarti. Both were righteous rulers deeply devoted to religious observances. Yajnas were performed without fault, traditions were preserved, and their people lived in peace and abundance. Their lands were fertile, trade prospered, and harmony prevailed. The two kings were close allies bound by friendship and mutual trust. However, prolonged peace slowly led to complacency. Military preparedness was taken lightly. Though they shared a defense pact, their armies lacked training, modern weapons, and strategic readiness. Sensing this weakness, a neighboring realm ruled by Varshika demons launched a well planned and sudden attack. The combined forces of the two kingdoms were overwhelmed. Large territories were seized, treasuries plundered, and livestock driven away. The once prosperous kingdoms were reduced to humiliation. King Prastoka, who had commanded the joint army, was deeply shaken, and both rulers stood disgraced before their subjects. Distressed and confused, the kings questioned their faith. Had they not fulfilled every religious duty? Why then had divine protection failed them? Seeking answers, they approached their family priest, sage Bharadwaja, and narrated their defeat and suffering. The sage explained with compassion that religious duties yield spiritual rewards. They protect a kingdom from natural calamities and sustain moral strength, but they do not replace practical action. Just as prayer cannot cure illness without medicine, rituals cannot compensate for neglected defense. Prosperity earned through righteousness must be actively protected. If the kings wish to regain their lands and honor, they must rebuild their armies, train their youth, and act with strategy. Divine support, the sage assured them, follows those who perform their duties at the practical level. Renewed in spirits, the kings reorganized their forces and trained young warriors. At this time arrived Payu, the accomplished son of sage Bharadwaja, a master of weapons and sacred invocations. Drawing upon Rig Veda, he performed 19 consecratory recitations, empowering the weapons and instilling fearless resolve in soldiers. Waiting patiently for the right moment, the kings launched a surprise attack when the demons least expected it. Caught unprepared, the Vashikas suffered heavy losses. As they attempted to counterattack, Indra himself entered the battle, invoked by sage Bharadwaja. His thunderbolt Vajra struck down the demon commander, and the enemy forces were swiftly annihilated. The lost lands were reclaimed, the stolen treasures restored, and peace returned. From this victorious tradition comes the Vedic invocation preserved in Samaveda. Viraksho Vimrudo Jahi. O Lord, destroy the violent and crushing enemies. The narrative teaches a timeless lesson. Dharma brings prosperity, but strength preserves it. Spiritual discipline blesses effort, it does not replace responsibility. A kingdom that neglects defense risks losing both its wealth and its values. True wisdom lies in balance, righteousness supported by preparedness. When duty is fulfilled both spiritually and practically, even the gods stand with those who act. Narayana, Narayana.